let's talk about how to write. This goes beyond just memos. It'll apply to all your writing. There's definitely a process involved in writing, and the more you know a process and have a process, the easier the writing will be to do, and the better the writing will be for your readers. So here we go. The first thing you do, of course, is brainstorm. You do need to know what you're going to write about. If possible, do this over a period of days. Letting things in fester along will help the results. You'll get more out of it. If you try to rush the brainstorm and go right to the writing, you will end up with having to add sections and take out sections and move sections around. So it's best to get through all the ideas in no particular order. Just take a piece of paper. I like to turn it from portrait to landscape, so it's sideways, because if I do in portrait, I kind of feel like I need to write it in order. If I turn it landscape, it's more like I'm painting a picture. I can draw all over it, and I don't feel so confined. But that's just me. Do it any way you want. I suggest you brainstorm by hand with pencil and paper or pen and paper, as opposed to writing it or typing it. That way you can circle your ideas and draw them around. Drawing them in a picture helps. There's lots of information on brainstorming. Just Google brainstorming, you'll find out all about it. But try to brainstorm over your ideas, and then take all your ideas, and then once the brainstorm is done, then try to pull them into an outline. So you always do an outline first. Never start writing from the beginning of anything. You always do an outline first. The obvious three parts are introduction, main points, and conclusion. In a more complicated report, it could be executive summary, intro, main, 1, 2, 3 points, whatever, conclusion. You could have additional pages like cover, abstract, table of contents, blah, blah, blah. So you always outline, and you always get the table of contents and the whole structure of the document pulled together. So you brainstorm first, let all those ideas come out, then you decide what structure the document will be, and then outline the entire document as far as what each part's going to cover and what the main points of each part are going to cover. So you do a complete outline first before you ever go beyond that. The next section that you want to talk about is where to start. And I strongly urge you to do the easy middle parts first. So the introduction and conclusion are hard. The inside, the meat of the paper, are very, they're usually the ones you've thought most about, and they're really the point of the paper. I start with doing the easy middle parts first. So the easy middle parts are, if you know the subject has 3 points, A, B, and C, and A you know really well, B and C not quite as well, start with A, because it's the one you know the best. So do the parts that are easy. Write in a stream of consciousness. Do not slow down for syntax and grammar and editing and no. Write like as fast as you possibly can. There is a program online, you can look it up. It's called Write or Die. W-R-I-T-E or D-I-E. Write or Die. I think it's writeordie.com, but just Google Write or Die, and it will allow you to type in the program. And if you stop typing, it starts to blink at you, and then eventually it starts to make a very loud noise, reminding you to keep writing. And the only way to turn off the noise is to keep writing. So it makes you write in a stream of consciousness. You don't want to fix your writing and edit it while you're writing. Write. It's much easier to edit it after you've got it written. Just write. Get it on paper. So do the easy parts first. Get it on paper as a stream of consciousness. Then go back and finish the middle parts. This is the meat of the paper. Don't go past it until you have a first draft of all the middle sections. So write in a stream of consciousness, do the easy middle parts, then the harder middle parts. Until the middle is done, don't go on. So get a first draft of the middle parts of the paper. Then go on and write your conclusion. Now your conclusion is where you're headed at the beginning of the paper. And you don't know where you're headed until you write the middle of the paper and figure out where you're actually going. So you write the middle, then you write the conclusion. You can't tell anyone where you're going until you know where you're going. So finish the paper, then go to write the conclusion. Then go back and write the introduction, because you can't tell anybody where you're going to go until you decide where you're going, and you can't decide where you're going until you have the journey well established in the paper. So middle first, then conclusion, then introduction. That gets your first draft done. So you've got the easy middle parts, then the harder middle parts, then the conclusion, then the introduction. That's the way to approach any paper at all. Now, this is also true with essay questions, and I know a lot of the people who are watching this are students. So you do the same thing. You brainstorm, you outline, you do the middle core of the essay, then the conclusion, then the introduction, then edit, edit, edit. 5 passes on the edit is okay. That's kind of minimum standard. More is better. The last book I worked on, my co-author and I did a chapter of the Wiley book Investor Behavior, and our chapter took 52 rewrites. Not rewrites, but edits. Full edits. Every word you looked at, every sentence rewritten or edited 52 times. So, don't think, oh, gee, I did this twice and I looked at it and it looks good. No, that's all writing's about. You need to edit and edit and edit and edit because you can always make it better. And so, 5 edit passes is okay. More than that would probably be better. Also, try to get a day in between your edit passes so you can look at it fresh. And I'm telling you, if you look at your writing 2 days later, it will absolutely go, oh no, I can fix it. I can do it better. I can do it better. I can do better. Even the emails I send to students, I at least do 2 edit passes on. I still, and that's an email. That's a quick email. I still are in the habit to look at my writing and try to make it a little clearer, try to get rid of all those sentences you don't need, and so on.